Hello, Chapel Hill Church. Welcome back to the midweek updates. I've been looking forward to getting these going again and just being able to connect with you a little bit more in the middle of the week between Sundays. And so here we go with this again, and I'm excited about it. So we just started a new series for the fall called Influencers. And I'm looking forward to this journey a lot because I believe that God has created us to be influencers in this world, and that He does that work through us. And so what I'm going to do as we go through this series is each week, in the middle of the week, I'm going to give you a prayer focus for the week. I'm going to call all of us into praying for ourselves and for this church as we grow together in this concept of being influencers. We started out this series looking at a statement that Paul made where he said, "By the grace of God, I am what I am." Paul recognized that it is God's grace at work in us that makes us who we are, and it's God's grace that creates the influence that we have on others. And I believe that influence is great. God can do amazing things through us. And so what I want to do this week is focus on that. Focus on the reality that it is God's grace at work in us. And so our prayer focus for this week is a prayer of surrender. How do we do this? How can we call God into this to help us surrender to His grace at work in us? Our prayer is simply, God, get me out of the way. Don't let me get in the way of what you want to do in making me an influencer. And so I want you to spend some time with God this week, just asking Him to do that. Just saying, God, I'm not the one writing my profile. I'm not the one that's at the center of who I am. It's by your grace, God, that I am what I am. So invite God to come and do that in you, to get you out of the center, to put Him at the center, to put Jesus at the center, and to allow His Spirit to work in you to create the influence that He wants to have in you, through you. So take some time to do that. And I ask that you would pray that for our church, for Chapel Hill Church, that we would become a church that is influential by God's grace working through us, growing in us, being poured out into us, and then through us into our community. That's our prayer for this week. God, your will be done, your grace come, and create in us the kind of influence that you want to have in us. So take some time this week to pray that, to ask God to do that work in you and to do it in us as a church family. I'm looking forward to this Sunday. I invite you to be here in person or online at 10 o'clock. I'm going to do a message that I call Dad's Toolbox, and we're going to look at the reality that God has provided for us all that we need to be influencers in this world. This is a family service Sunday, so come ready for that, to be with your family in the service. It's Communion Sunday. Be ready for that. We'll take communion together in person, and be ready to do that at home with your family, by yourself, whoever you might be with. Be ready for that. It's Communion Sunday as well. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Sunday. I'm looking forward to more of these updates, and just excited to be back doing this again. Have a great week, Chapel.